Hello everyone, this is Casey with Occupational Therapy and the rehab team here at Edgewater. We hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy. Today I'm here to present the August seminar of the Rehab Education Thrive series. This is the 8th of 10 seminars in 2020 provided by Rehab. Today we are going to review the Mind Part 3 series of the Thrive series, and Cognitive Reserve is our subject. So last month we reviewed what you can do for a healthy mind. Today we will discuss cognitive reserve. What is cognitive reserve? Why is it important? What are the risk factors that could lead to a decline in cognition? Share examples of things you can do on your own to build your cognitive reserve. And finally, discuss how rehab can help you build cognitive reserve. So what is cognitive reserve? The mind's resistance to damage of the brain. People with high cognitive reserve age more slowly than their peers, but not limited to neuropathology, genetics, environmental or life experiences that have protected the brain over the years. Another example of cognitive reserve is our brain's ability to face different types of damage, deterioration, or illness and maintain cognitive function, which results in little to no decline in executive functioning skills, completing daily activities, participating in relationships, and social and emotional engagement. Use it or lose it versus cognitive reserve. Use it or lose it theory. Many of us have heard all of our lives, if you don't use it, you lose it. This does not hold true for building cognitive reserve. For example, residents can do crossword puzzles, word search, etc. to maintain current cognitive function, but these activities do not build cognitive reserve. There is a fancy term called cognitive reserve hypothesis. This hypothesis states that you can do certain types of cognitive training that can build more pathways in the brain, so when there is an injury, illness, or a genetic tendency towards dementia, you have more pathways to compensate than someone who does not have the same amount of pathways built. A person that has lower cognitive reserve will decline with cognition, physical, and social abilities at a faster rate than someone with a high cognitive reserve. Example of the importance of cognitive reserve. Let's review an example of the importance of cognitive reserve. Two 80-year-old women have the same brain injury, but one is presenting more advanced signs of deterioration while the other is not. After the two women have passed away, an autopsy was performed. Doctors discovered that both women had Alzheimer's disease. So why did one woman present signs of cognitive deterioration and the other didn't? The answer is cognitive reserve. Even though both women had Alzheimer's, one woman had more cognitive reserve, meaning neuropathology, life experiences, and environment contributed to the resistance of damage in the brain. If she had not built this cognitive reserve, this would have impacted her ability to walk, talk, remember, and complete activities of daily living. Her cognitive reserve helped her compensate for the pathology of the Alzheimer's. Cognitive stimulation and rehabilitation won't directly treat the neuropathology of dementia. Does age matter? So this quote reads, "Scientists believe cognitive reserve is an active coping process that's built up over a lifetime. What you do in life can contribute to it, even at an older age." So does age really matter when it comes to building up cognitive reserve? Is it too late if you are 70, 80, 90? The great news is no, it is never too late. U.S. News and World Reports in December of 2018 reported the following statement. listed above. So, and this was from a cognitive neuroscientist at Columbia Medical School. What are the risk factors that could lead to a decline in cognition? There are a number of things that affect your brain function. These are hearing loss, sedentary lifestyle with low physical activity, diabetes, heart disease and high blood pressure, advanced aging, low education level, depression, obesity, and smoking. What can I specifically do to build my cognitive reserve? You can learn a new hobby, learn a second language, exercise your mind and body together, challenge the components of your mind with rehab's help. If you are interested in rehab helping you build your cognitive reserve, reach out to your community director of rehab, which here at Edgewater is Stephanie Weiss. Your speech therapist or occupational therapist will do the following. They will start by having you answer a short questionnaire about your cognitive reserve risk factors. Then a licensed therapist will complete a baseline cognitive training assessment, targeting areas that will be discussed in the next slide. Challenge the components of your mind with rehab's help. Sustained attention. This is the ability to direct focus to complete a planned task. You can challenge your sustained attention by reading a long passage slowly. Simultaneous attention. The ability to multitask with success and no errors. You can challenge your simultaneous attention by completing two things at once. For instance, walking while counting backwards. Speed of processing. Your ability to process information quickly that is coming in. If you use your brain HQ, you will have given pictures and asked to choose which picture you saw. The program times how long it takes you to choose the correct response. You are then given a score, and then the objective is through cognitive exercises you will improve the score. So this is a game that we use in speech and occupational therapy. Some different websites such as AARP and Luminosity also have challenging brain games. So if you're members of AARP or Luminosity, those are great for everyday mind and memory training. And one of the games that they do for speed of processing is show you a series of pictures and ask you to recite as many pictures as you can remember. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to change what you are thinking about. Working memory, which is your ongoing memory in terms of throughout the day. It is a temporary storage of information and your ability to recall that information. Challenge your working memory. You're given a series of digits and you will be asked to repeat as stated and then gradually state them backwards. The digits are increased based on your response. This is just an example of one of the tests that we would do for cognitive reserve. Response inhibition, the ability to inhibit one's own response to distractions. Challenge response inhibition set up through the environment. When you're completing a task and a loud noise goes off, your goal would be able to ignore the noise. Topographical orientation, ability to navigate without any device or directions. Challenge yourself to go to locations that you are familiar with in a different way and see if you can figure out how to get to them. Category formation, the ability to organize information, concepts, and skills into categories. Challenge your category formation by quickly sorting objects into categories. So these are just some examples of what we actually will test in your speech or occupational therapy evaluation as well, and just some examples of exercises to what all these different components are in the mind. Okay, so let's practice. Challenge your simultaneous attention and processing speed. So the example we would have you do if this presentation was in person, we would stand up, start a timer, march in place, and you would have to count backwards from 20 by twos, and then sit down when you get to 0. We would then stop the timer and record and then repeat. The goal is to be able to improve your time and get faster. So this is just an example of simultaneous attention by doing 2 different things, as in marching and counting backwards, and processing speed. How quickly can you configure those results? Here's what we would hope you would take away from today's education. There are several avenues to address cognitive reserve, and you have some control of your cognitive well-being. Please take time to start building your cognitive reserve by doing your own personal inventory of the following: life events, engage in educational opportunities, always be a student, life habits, diet, medications, social support, positive affect, stimulating activities, and exercise, both aerobic and strength, all aid in cognitive training. All of these areas are contributing factors to the amount of cognitive decline one experiences in the presence of disease and/or pathology. We can build our cognitive reserve to be proactive in our daily lives to prevent functional decline. Please contact the rehab department in your community if you are unable to attend any other sessions, or that if you are interested in learning more about how rehab can help you with your cognitive reserve. So, unfortunately, we do not have any in-person activities going on right now, but as I had mentioned in our previous Thrive presentations, we always are available through phone call, so you can always give us a call at our physical therapy department, which is listed in your white directory book in the front, and you can always speak to one of our educated therapists or our director of rehab, which is Stephanie Weiss, and we can answer questions regarding how speech or occupational therapy can help you with cognitive reserve or memory. So we have now completed our mind series. So this included the abnormal and normal aging, what you can do for a healthy mind, and how to build cognitive reserve. Rehab will start providing cognitive reserve services, and we have already begun that, so please disregard the September 1st date. If you're interested in a personal consultation, as I said before, just call us in your rehab department, and we are more than happy to answer any questions and assess you if you would be a good candidate. So this was just one takeaway. So we want to continue to promote Thriving with ACTS. I know we are in a very troubling time in our world right now, but it is very important to maintain both your cognitive, emotional, social, and physical health as much as we can. So as I stated before, we're here to help you. We can answer questions. We can even do assessments in your apartment if you don't feel well enough to come to our outpatient gym. So please don't hesitate to give us a call. Another thing I wanted to touch base with really quickly is that we have had some ongoing questions regarding Medicare coverage. So if you or a loved one is experiencing any long-term disability or impact, so things including dementia or Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and different things like that, Medicare has changed a bit in that they will cover a longevity of therapy because it has been shown to prevent decline, both mentally and physically. So if you have any questions about that, please, again, don't hesitate and give us a call in our rehab department. We hope that everyone's staying safe, and again, if you need anything from us, just give us a call. And if you have any questions about today's lecture, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good one. Stay safe.